What we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about the big honeymoon, the trip, the excitement after the wedding, going and doing something fun. And let me get off that screen. And, just like with planning a wedding, planning the honeymoon can be just as confusing and complicated. And there's a lot of money involved with it as well. So I thought I'd make a video just kind of giving some tips on what you can be doing and what you need to watch out for, how you're going to figure these things out, and all that stuff. So if you've not planned your honeymoon yet, this will be a good video for you. Even if you have planned your honeymoon, I think there's still some things in here you want to hear. So let's jump into it. I don't know about you guys, but the honeymoon is a pretty exciting thing. I mean, the wedding day, of course, is awesome, but getting to go on some big fancy trip with your new husband or wife is also extremely exciting. Getting to go do something you may never get to do again, something you maybe never done before. So I've been married almost 15 years now, and we went to one of the Sandals resorts. And since then, we've only been, I think, one other time. And, it's just a very exciting time getting to go to a fancy place out of the country, get to eat and drink as much as you want, have people serving you, helping you, relaxing, not having to worry about work, just a lot of cool stuff. So I definitely understand that the honeymoon is one of those things that you are really looking forward to. So let's talk about how you can make the most of it. So start off, guys. This is supposed to be a big thing for you. The honeymoon is supposed to be this big fancy trip or something really exciting and fun. So guys, go ahead and dream big. So don't start off with like really low expectations or low goals. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So what I would suggest is the two of you get together and you just start making a list. Don't worry about anything. Just make a list. Like, it would be really cool if we got to go to Paris. It'd be really cool if we got to go to Rome, Niagara Falls, skiing in Colorado, whatever. Just like start listing all the cool places that you would like to go and things that you would like to do for your honeymoon. And again, I know that a lot of it may be really unrealistic, but that's not the point. Just start off making that list of all the things that excite you, all the things that you would like to do, all the places you would like to visit. And while you're doing that, I would also start thinking about, okay, what kind of environment do we want on this trip? Do I want to just be relaxing the whole time? Is that what I'm looking for? Am I looking for something that's activity-based, so we're going to be constantly doing things the whole time on the trip? Am I wanting it to be small and private and away from people, or do I want it to be more of like a big city atmosphere, lots of people, crowds, and all of that? When you start thinking about those things, new ideas, new places are going to pop into your head, and it's just a good conversation to have at the beginning, like what is it we want to do? And like I said, don't hold back on any of your ideas. Just throw it out there. Even if one is ridiculous and it's not going to happen, maybe it's going to trigger something else in your thought process, and it's going to help you come up with 5 new ideas. But I would just throw it out there. Get as many ideas on a piece of paper as possible, and it'll at least start the conversation between the two of you of what you want this really to be like. And then, more options is always better than less options. I would rather have a list of 30 than a list of 2, because then at least I can, make some decisions instead of being stuck between only 2 options. So once we have that big list, then we can still start, getting our ideas really straight about what it is we want. Now, I've mentioned this with other things before. I always think it's a good idea to talk about what you really want and not let one person in the relationship make the main decision. Make sure you guys are on the same page about what it is you want. So, for example, my wife likes to sit on a beach and just lay out in the sun. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of the sun and getting sunburnt. I don't like the feeling of sand. I get really bored just sitting around all day. Like, I can't do that. So if that was the only option, just to sit on the beach and relax, I would not like that. So when we go on vacation and stuff, that's what she does a lot of times. And they're like other things that I go and do, or things that I'm doing while she's doing that, because that's what I enjoy. So like sometimes we kind of compromise. So we may be sitting out by a pool, so she's still getting to sit out and relax. But I don't have to deal with the sand, and I'll have like a computer or iPad, and I'll be watching movies. And that's what I like, and that's what she likes. So if she just forced me to do what she wanted the whole time, I would not be very happy. So talk to each other about these things. So what is it you like doing? Do you want to just sit on the beach and relax? Do you want to go skiing and be really active? Do you want to go hiking? Do you want to go to some kind of amusement park like Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios? Is your biggest thing all about food and alcohol and drinks and partying? Figure that out, and that will start guiding you to the next step, which is, looking at your budget. As far as this goes, I always hate talking about money. I really do. But, everything wedding related has to have a money tag attached to it. So start figuring out what your general budget is. And in most cases, traditionally, now I know things aren't as traditional as it used to be, like the parents of the groom, if I'm thinking correctly, I'm not losing my mind. The parents of the groom are usually paying for the honeymoon, but that doesn't always happen. So start figuring out, where is all this money coming from and how much of it are we going to get? So are the parents contributing something? Are they contributing nothing? Are you having to pay for it all by yourself? Do you have a rich aunt that's going to pay for it? But get an idea of how much money and who's contributing, so you can talk to them. And if it doesn't look like it's enough, is there anything that you could cut from maybe your wedding budget, or maybe just from your general budget, your living budget? So like if you cut out, I don't know, maybe you're one of the last people that has cable TV, and you cut cable TV out, and you save like $1,000 that year. Just finding different things that you could cut to add to this budget, or other people to contribute to it, is always a good thing. So you could always ask, there's like these websites now, and I've talked about this for photography as well. Websites where people can contribute to your honeymoon versus buying you pans and towels and other things like that you don't care about. And you can find a decent chunk of money that way if the honeymoon is that important to you. Other things to be thinking about as far as like budget, and this is a little disconnected, but you're going to be gone from work. How much time can you guys afford to not be working? Because every day you're not at work, you're going to be losing money unless they are paying for you to go on this vacation, which they may be. But all that's just talking about money. Now, once you've kind of got this idea of money figured out, I would go back to my list and maybe just get some general prices. And you don't even have to you don't even have to really look it up on the internet, but you can guess. Okay, if my budget is $6,000, a week in Rome is not going to happen. That's just way too expensive. And you can just kind of mark off some of the things that are just way out of budget and just no clue. And you can just take some guesses of what that means. And now you can narrow the list. I would suggest going with like your top 5. If you want to go like 7, 10, that's fine as well, but you're going to have to narrow it more later. And like, these are the ones that we really like, and they're also probably close to our budget. And there are other things you can use to kind of narrow this down. And this is extremely important to think about with the situation we're currently in. So, could COVID-19 affect any of these in our top 5? And that could mean a lot of things. So, 1, if COVID flares up, could the country it's in shut down? Could the state shut down? Could they shut down the activity altogether. So like if you're going to Disney World and they just decide to shut Disney World, could that happen? That would be something to take into consideration. Are there going to be restrictions that make doing whatever you're doing not fun anymore? For example, I've seen some people at resorts lately sitting out by a pool wearing masks. I don't know if I would really enjoy that. I don't think I would really enjoy sitting out by a pool with a mask on my face all day in the sun. That just doesn't sound really fun to me. Or if like the theme park was limiting how many people are going to be there, or you could only be there for a few hours. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff to think about. So I would take COVID-19 into consideration when you are narrowing down this list, and making sure that it's not a big risk, or it's not going to be completely boring because of what could happen. Just some things to think about to help you with narrowing. Now, I would also, if all of this is just overwhelming and you can't make decisions, as always, ask for help. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, people who've gone on trips recently, people that just got back from honeymoons. Get opinions on things, see what they like, see what didn't work for them. And, if you're still stuck, if it's still too overwhelming, you can always get professional help from a travel agent. And the great thing about that is it's going to be less stress. There's less things for you to research, less things for you to do, less worry because they're going to take care of you. They may find better deals. They may be able to find the best deal out there and save you hundreds or thousands of dollars. And they've been doing this. This is their job. They have the experience. They know how things work. They know how to fix things. They know the system. And that could, and as far as I know, I don't know how that works as far as like paying a travel agent if they just get a cut from the people they're sending you to. I don't think you're having to necessarily pay the travel agent to do anything. So I don't think it's a bad thing to reach out and have a travel agent help you. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help and getting opinions from other people. Now, at this point, hopefully you are ready to book the honeymoon. And the only other things I would be thinking about is, make sure you're not trying to book the honeymoon like a month out. Give yourself plenty of time before the actual honeymoon to plan things and get things figured out for sure. Because if you're trying to do it a month out, it's going to be really stressful and you may forget something and something may not work out the way you wanted it to. And the last thing, I would also look into at least what the refund situation is or cancellation policy for each thing. Is there a possibility of buying insurance? And, honestly, I don't know if the insurance is a good deal or not. I've never looked into it that much. But again, with the way COVID has kind of changed the world, I would definitely look into it because things may get shut down and canceled. Now, if that happens, are you covered? Are they going to give you your money back? Will your plane ticket be able to be shifted to a new date? And it's just something I'd rather you be safe and look into it at least and be prepared. And some other pre-honeymoon planning things you need to make sure. When you're getting your plane tickets and other type tickets, you probably want to have your maiden name in there because think about it. You're not going to be able, well, most likely, I don't think there's any way you can get your license or passport changed from, if you're leaving like relatively quickly after the wedding, you're not going to have time to change your license and passport. So the tickets need to be in your name that you have on your license and passport. So when you get there, they're not going to hey, this isn't you. You have a different last name on this ticket. Because that would suck. And I know that's happened to people. So make sure things match up. Also, just make sure your passports and license haven't expired. And again, this is why you want to look at things early, because a passport these days, I can't remember how long it takes. It could be a few months to get a new passport. So that's why you want to make sure you have this time to do all this stuff and get it all figured out. Because your passport may not show up in time, and then you're just stuck. Also, at some point, make a big list of all the things that you're going to need to bring with you, things that you may not think about. You can Google this, or talk to, again, a travel agent. It's going to be able to tell you all the things that you're needing. And definitely have it all packed the night before, and so you're not stressing, and you can have that bag in the car if you're leaving directly after the wedding, like the next morning. But just prepare and plan these things so you don't forget stuff, so you don't have to waste a lot of time trying to pack something at 3 a.m. And preparing is always a good thing. It's always a good idea to be prepared in advance as much as possible. Okay, so I know you're probably excited about getting the honeymoon set up. I know the thought I might get to go on a trip this summer, and it excites me. It's not a honeymoon, of course, but my wife and I may be going to make another trip, and it's just so exciting to start that process of planning and thinking about, this is what we're going to get to do. It's going to be so much fun. But there still is that aspect that you have to take care of business. You have to make sure you're doing the right things, making the good choices, being safe about it all. And again, that could be stressful. So guys, hopefully these kind of walking you through the process, giving you some tips and things I've seen has been helpful. As always, if you have questions or comments or thoughts or whatever, you have other things you're struggling with, you can reach out to me. But I would love to help you guys out. I want you to have a good wedding, but also a good honeymoon, and all of your experiences to just be fabulous. All right, guys, I'm off to, I think I'm going to design an album. I think that's what I've got left to do. Design an album, do a few other things, do some video work. It's a never-ending task list for me. Then I got to pick up my kids early from school because some COVID stuff. So fun. Lots of fun stuff going on. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you guys later. See ya.